Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a good looking puzzle here. It's by Tallcat, who I know is a setter who's done a number of things over the years. I honestly don't know if I've done a puzzle by Tallcat, maybe way back when I have, but I'll have to go back and look again. But anyway, this one is called Fluid Mosaic. Let's take a look at the rules and see what's going on. So normal Sudoku, every row, column, and 3x3 box will contain the digits 1 through 9 once each. We have between lines, so cells along lines between two filled circles must have values strictly between those in the circles. Digits may repeat in lines if allowed by other rules. So those are these groupings of lines here. So we have two circles on each end. Whatever these things are, let's say this was a 3 and a 7. These would have to be from 4, 5, and 6, because 4, 5, and 6 are between 3 and 7. Imagine that. And then we just have Renbans. So pink lines must contain a set of consecutive non-repeating digits in any order. So all the other thick pink lines are Renbans. So this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be worthwhile. We have a given digit. Cool. So nothing crazy on the rule sets. It's been a few minutes since we've done a between lines puzzle, so that's going to be good to get back into. But with that said, I don't have a huge intro. Let's just get at this thing. Links in the description below, as always. Let's get started. What are we going to do? Well, let's think about the between lines. We can never put a 1 or a 9 in any of these things. So let's do a color on that. None of these can be 1s or 9s, because you can obviously not put a 0 or a 10 on these bits. So there is a 1 and or a 9 on every single one of these Renbans. Question's going to be, how do we determine which one is on which? Because they can't both be on any of these, because none of them are 9 cells long. So looking at these guys, one of these is going to be a 1, 2, 3. One of these is going to be a 9, 8, 7, because one of them has a 9 on it, one of them has a 1 on it. How do we determine which one is which? Well, actually, it doesn't necessarily have to go that way, because this could be the one that has the 1 or the 9 on, and then one of these other two. But we do know that this one either has a 1 or 9, and this one either has a 1 or 9. This one either has a 1 or 9, and this one either has a 1 or a 9. So, how do we think about these things and figure out what exactly we can do to get going on this thing? Now, is there anything reduced from these guys that we can maybe look from the other side on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different digits. They have to, well, every single one of these has to have a gap of 4. So like 1 and 5 would work, because you could put 2, 3, and 4 in between them, that sort of a thing. That's not super helpful, because that doesn't rule out any digits from these. Trying to think of what else we could work with here. Because none of these are fully engaged in a region. So that doesn't cause further limitation. I guess we know this guy, it is 5 cells long, so it must contain a 5. And we know this guy either has a 1 or a 9 on it, so it's either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is there anything wrong with this being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Let's think about that for a second. I don't think so. If it is, this becomes 987. And then there's the opposite of 98765. This would be a 1, 2, 3. Now, this given 2 is going to have to be of use. It means that if this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one of these is the 2. If this is the 1, 2, 3, this is a 2. Does that cause problems? Not necessarily. Then this could be 987. Gotta figure out how to get some sort of reduction on this thing. How do we go about that? One, two, three, four, five. This is also either a 1 through 5 or a 5 through 9. Is there any correlation between these two? I don't think so. At least not that I can see, of course. So, what are we doing? One of these will have a 1 on them. One of these will have a 9 on them. This is going to be a version of something, whether it be with a 1 or with a 9. This is going to be the opposite. If this has the 1, this has the 9. If this has the 9, this has the 1. Is there a way to propagate that to the other guys? One of these is the 1, one of these is the 9. Again, these guys don't necessarily follow the same. Well, what does it actually tell us about these digits here? They aren't 1s or 9s. Can never put 1s or 9s in them. Because the 1 and the 9 are going to be in these positions. Same goes with these guys. Because either this is a 1 or a 9, or these are a 1 or a 9. If that's the case, this does become one of them's a 1, 9, or one of them has a 1, one of them has a 9, and these are not 1s or 9s. It's kind of curious. I guess how do we mark this in any kind of reasonable sense? Because what it's saying is that there are 1s and 9s on each of these sets, or not on each set, but in these 2 rows, the 1s and the 9s will exist on the circles. Can we build anything off of that? Because let's say if this thing did have a 1 on it, is that possible? Because these would be some grouping of this. But then these are... Maybe this just is a 1 or a 9 then. If we think about that, this is either a 1 or a 9. One of these two is the other one. This is either a 1 or a 9. Which means this is not 1 or 9, so this is 1 or 9. And one of these two will be. Well, this one then has to be a 1 or a 9 as well, because this can't be. Which means this can't be, so one of these is the other 1 or 9. And then this is a 1 or a 9. This is not 1 or 9. This is not 1 or 9. That's, it's something. How do we continue these are not 1s or 9s. These are not 1s or 9s. I think we can get rid of this green and blue. Because I don't think we can correlate the way we were thinking of doing so. One of these is a 1 or a 9. Let's just mark that like this. If this... There's either a 2 here or here, is another thing we learned from that. This is not... Okay. What else? We know this is not. This can't be a 1. But we can't necessarily rule out a 9. Same goes for over here. Can't put a 1 on any of these. But we don't have any vertical 1-9 pairs to further that. Well, actually, that's interesting. These can't... Neither one of these can be 1s or 9s, can they? Because what if I was to put a... Well, obviously you can't put a 1 on these, because you'd have to put a 2, and we can't do that. But what if I put a 9 here? Well, that forces this to be a 1 and this to be a 9. Well, if this is a 9, this is 8, 7. What do you put here? You can't put anything. Well, the same doesn't apply here unless we figure out which one of these two is the 1 or the 9. Because if we were to say this is a 1 or a 9... No, actually we don't have the same logic here. Okay. Can this ever be a 9? No, it's this... No, yeah, it can. Because this could be a 9, a 1, 9. And that 9 is not affected by what goes on here. This wouldn't be affected, because this could be a 1 with a 2 and a 3. this could be a 1. With this being I guess this one... No, I guess this could be a 2 as well. Because this could be the one with a 2 here and a 3 here. Well, this is... Can this be a 1 or a 9? I think the answer is going to be yes. Because if this was a 9, this would be a 9. And that doesn't affect this in any way. Okay. There's something more going on that we can work out. I think we've started something here. It's just how the heck do we get further? This has to be the key here. Let's think about this. If this is a 1, there is a 2 here. But that would break. Yeah, this is a 9. Okay, let's go through that process. If this is a 1, there's a 2 here, right? Because it can't go here. Well, that being a 1 forces this to be a 9, and this to be a 1, and to be a 1. Well, you got a 2 here. You have to put a 2 here as well. This is a 9. This is 1, 9, 1, 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 3. This is 2. This is 3. This is 2. All right, there's something. Let's continue the process. 8, 7. 8, 7, 6, 5. This is a 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. These are not the 9s. One of those is. Okay, let's see now. If we can take this a little bit further. One of these will be a 2. Anything else? This is a 2. One of these is a 2. Okay. What more? Tell me more, tell me more. We can't put a 1 on this thing anymore, right? Because this and this can't be won by Sudoku. If this was a 1, yeah, we can't put 2 or 3 here. So let's go a little deeper on our 1s here. See if we can pull anything else out of a hat, if you will. One of these is a 1, which means those aren't. So this is a 1-2 pair. Okay, do we have anything else? Doobie-doobie-doo. Well, this is not 7, 8. Let's use the basics here, which means this is 7, 8. This is 1, 2. What are you guys? 3 and 4. This is 4. This is 3. If that's a 4, this is a 5. No mouse. Naughty. Do your job the way you're supposed to. These have to be 1, 6, and 9. This is not 1. Okay. Can we keep going down this Sudoku road? I know I've kind of tripped around it a little bit. One of these is a 3. That doesn't rule this out because we can always repeat digits. One of these has to be a 1 or a 2. which means it's this one. Because we have a 3 on this thing, we have to be able to put a 1 or a 2 to get below the 3. Well, this can't be 1 or 2. This can't be 2. This is 1. Okay, this is not 1. This is 1. One of these is 1. All right, we're making some progress. Let's keep thinking. This now has to be 3, 2, 3, 4. This has to at least be a 6. 5, 6, 7, 8. Very close on that one to having a quad going on this 5, 6, 7. Yeah, not quite, but we can probably keep going on these things a little bit. This is 6 or 9. That pushes this down to 5 or less. 5, 4. Well, it can't be 1, 2, or 3. This can't be 6 then. Because if the lowest this can ever be is 4, we obviously can't have this be a 6, 9, because we can only put 7 and 8. Well, if it's 6 and 4, we can only put a 5 here. This is 9. This is 6. This is not 6. The 9 and the 4 or the 5 means this is 5, 6, 7, or 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 4. Okay. These are a 7, 8, 9 trip. This is a 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 type of situation. Okay. I don't know if this yellow coloring is helping me any or just blocking my vision, but we're keeping it for a minute. If this is 5, this is 6, 7, 8. If this is 4, it's any of those groupings of digits. Okay. What else we got? Let's keep on keeping on. Let's go back to Sudoku real quick and see if anything else is pulled out. One of these is a 1. We said this one isn't. Doesn't say a lot. Let's keep going. 2s and 2s. No, look at 3s. There's a 3 up here somewhere. It can't be on this because it can't go with the 2. This is 3. Okay. Again, we know one of those 2 is a 3. One of these 2 is a 3. One of those 4 is a 3. One of those is a 3. I don't know if I want to mark that. Let's go to the 4s for a second. See if anything comes out of that. One of these is a 4. This one could very easily be that 4, though. I don't think we have any 5s or 6s or 8s, so let's look at 9s for a second, maybe. See if we can pull anything. What are these? Let's think about that for a second, maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are 6, 7, 8, 9. This is not 9. And I was hoping something would get caught in here, but it isn't at the moment. Okay. Let's continue to dig into this thing. Kind of want to start. I want something on one of these lines is kind of the point here. Five, 6, 7, 8, not quite. 5, 6, 7, 8, not quite. There's got to be a 2 on this thing somewhere. It goes here. Perfect. This is a 1. This is not 1. This is 1. This is 2 and 1. That's not 2. This guy here can't be 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, or 9. So the answers are 4, 5, 6 for all of these, to be honest. And this can't be 4. can't be 4. Go away. These have to be from 3, 4, and 5. This can't be 3. 6. Okay. What else can we do on some of these things? 5, 6. No. Just like my head is just flying. What can this be? Can't be 1, 2, 3. Could be 4, 5, 6, and that's it. Does that say? It doesn't necessarily say anything about this, does it? We're going to have 1 digit lower. 6, 4, 6. Ones, twos. We're going to have, yeah, so one of these is going to be lower than 4, 5, 6. One of them is going to be higher than 4, 5, 6. We don't quite have a quad or a trip yet to work with here. One of these two is 9. Okay. Keep going. Okay, this is a 1. I didn't finish my groupings of Sudoku. I think that's it on the ones. It is. So let's go back and look at these again. There's got to be more information we can put in here. Yeah, one of these is a 2, and it can only be this one. Therefore, this is a 2. Okay. This is helpful. 2s are done. Now, this can't be 4. This can't be 6. We get a 4 or 5 pair. These are not 5s. Okay. Again, we're trying to be systematic here. This is 6, 7, or 8. Okay. How is this guy working? Okay, gotcha. Okay, let's come back to here. What can these be? 3, 4, and 5. That's it. Well, this one can't be 3. So this is 3. This is not. One of these two will be 3. Okay. And one of those. One of those. Okay. Let's keep on this. This is a 4 or 5 pair, so this is 6. This is 5. This is 4. Now this can't be 3 because we're going to have a digit above the 4, so this is 3. That's 3. And I think that finishes the 3s. That's 3. Good. We're doing this thing, man. We're fighting through it, but we're getting information. One of these is a 4. In fact, this is just, hold on. These are not 6s. This has a 6 on it. It's a 6, 7. Therefore, this is 8. This is 9. This is 7. This is 8. These are 4 and 5. These are going to tell us what this is, because this is 8, 9, which means this is 7, 8. Good. Now we have these guys going. I'm going to get rid of this yellow color because it really is kind of funking with me. I think I'll leave the gray just for, the old poops and giggles. Let's go back to what we were doing because we were in something. This guy here, what can this be? It has to be higher than at least 6. 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is 4. It's the only thing left. 5, 6, 7, 8. this becomes 5 or 6. That's fine. What else do we have? 2, 6 to the 4, 5, 1 to the 3. What are these two digits? They are 6 and 7. This is 7. This is 6. Good. This can't be 7. That 7 says these aren't. Okay. 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're good there. Let's see. This is not 8 or 6. Okay. Anything else? I feel like we have a ton of stuff here that's just needs to be plopped in, but what can you be? 5, 6. Yeah, this is just a 4. 7 or 8. So this is 4. That forces 5 and 4. This can't be 6 or 8, so that's a 5, 7 pair. These are 6, 7, 8. Those are 5, 6, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9s. That 7 works fine there. You are not determined because you can be anything at the moment. Okay, let's jump back into Sudoku. 1s are done, we said. 2s are done. 3s are done. 4. One of these is a 4. We'll probably have to figure out this in a second, but let's try to get through this first. The 5 here says this is 4 and 5, so let's do that. These two are givens now. They are 6 and 9, looks like. What are you guys? 4 and 7. Okay. Does this give us anything? Oh, this 9 says this is 8, so these are not. That is not. This just has to be 9 because it's the only thing left, so these are not 9s. Good. Wanted to get back to this. Well, what is this digit? That'll help even more. This is 5. Therefore, this is not 9. It's 6, 9. Good. This is going to either be 4 or 7, because it has to finalize with this Renban. That forces 8 and 7 and 4 and 7 and 4. Cool. The 5, 6 is still not determined, but this is a 9, which is going to give us the 8 and the 9. This now is finally the 9. We've been looking for that for a while now. What else is in this grouping that we can remove? 5, 6, 7. One of these is a 7. This guy here. Okay, there's a 7. So this is either 6 or 7. It has to be 6 because of that 7, which gives us this. This is not 6. These are not 6s, so the 5, 7 pair says this is 8, and this is 6. 7, 5, 7, 5, 6, 5, 7. This is just 8. This is just 6. This is 5. And now we can finish this guy off with a big old beautiful 8, and you've solved the puzzle. Yes, got that one. 205 solves. It hasn't been out in public in 90 days. I think this is, actually, I think this was just posted like yesterday or today. So excellent puzzle. It really did take me a while to get my brain to get into how these things interacted with each other. But once we did that, the ball started to very slowly start rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. And we finally picked up a little bit of steam and got going. So love this puzzle, really fun puzzle. Turned out to be a little trickier than I thought it was going to be at the start, but that happens sometimes, particularly on days where the brain ain't working at 100%. But anyway, I hope you all really enjoyed this one, because I certainly did. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. We're getting pretty close to the 2K subscriber mark, so that's exciting for me, at least. It's the next minor milestone. But anywho, hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.